Hi everyone, May here. So I'm having some technical difficulties and I'm having to just do a voiceover because I waited until the last minute and can't figure out how to compile my video. So this is just gonna have to do. I'm very sorry. So I chose John D. Rockefeller for my person of interest in the postbellum period because he is also who I am focusing on for my research project, specifically his Standard Oil Company and how its dissolution impacted the market structure, economy, and the competition for other industries in America during the time. As we know from our blog post last week, the postbellum period saw some sort of economic growth in most industries. The oil industry was one that saw rapid economic growth, especially under the leadership of John Rockefeller. Just 5 years after the Civil War in 1870, he invested his life savings into the Standard Oil Company and immediately went to work to do everything that he could to grow this company. So he used horizontal and vertical integration to control all aspects of this industry. He realized that drilling was a bit risky and he met with scientists to focus on refining oil instead so that he could produce it at a greater rate than drilling. He also understood that transportation was a huge expense, so he went straight to Vanderbilt, who controlled most of the railroads during the time, and struck a deal with him. And it was ruthless business practices like this that shot him straight to the top and to become essentially the most wealthy man in America. In 1873, there was a major bank collapse, which led to the Panic of 1873 or the crash of 1873. And it was detrimental for most individuals and most companies that were weaker and didn't have the means to stay open. Rockefeller saw this as an opportunity to build his company and to increase his wealth. And so he took advantage of these struggling companies and he purchased them for a very, very low rate. He saw this as survival of the fittest. He was just using his means to get ahead. But other people saw this as him taking advantage and the concept of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. And he faced a lot of scrutiny. Following the Panic of 1873, the Standard Oil Company was more powerful than ever. At one point, it controlled 98% of the oil industry, and competitors or former competitors were not happy. Following this dissatisfaction, Rockefeller reorganized his company into a trust so that it appeared to be separate entities, although it was still only one. Okay, this led to monopolizing accusations and would later lead to trials and, as we know, the dissolution of the Standard Oil Company. Despite the controversy surrounding Rockefeller and the eventual acts that would be passed to prevent future industrial giants from utilizing the business practices that he did, his legacy remains mostly positive. And some people argue that that has to do with his philanthropic endeavors. Rockefeller donated a lot of money, nearly 35 million in his lifetime, to different causes, including religious organizations and the founding of educational institutes that favored African Americans, which was unheard of during the time. And his legacy lives on today. Thank you so much for listening. And again, I'm very sorry for the video or the presentation as it turned out to be. Thanks again.